So Interactive Brokers, wow, they just had a year that's definitely going in the history books. But it's not just about the money they made. It's really about how they made it. So today, let's break down the engine behind their absolutely record-breaking 2025 performance. The whole story really kicks off with this one number, a 32% explosion in customer accounts year over year. For a company this big, that's not just growth, it's a seismic shift. I mean, think about that. And, when you see a number like that, it just makes you ask the big question we're tackling today, right? How in the world did one broker manage to so completely dominate the market in 2025?
All right, so let's get into it. To really get what's going on here, you first have to wrap your head around the sheer scale of their financial performance. I mean, these numbers are just historic.
For the first time ever, Interactive Brokers blew past the $6 billion mark in net revenues for the year. That's a massive milestone. It really puts them in a whole new league. And here's the key thing, right? These massive revenues, they didn't just get lucky with the market or catch a lucky break. Nope, this was all driven directly by a huge, record-setting wave of new clients. Get this, in 2025 alone, they brought on over 1 million net new accounts. That's a company record, and it's basically the engine that powered everything else we're going to talk about. So what's the secret sauce here? What's the magnetic pull? Why is everyone from small-time retail traders to these massive hedge funds just flocking to their platform in droves? Well, I think a big part of the answer is right here on this chart. It really comes down to one thing: performance. Look at this. The S&P 500 had a great year, up 17.9%. But IBKR's clients, they just did better. Your average individual investor beat the market. Financial advisors, they beat it by more than 2.5%. And the hedge funds, holy cow, they didn't just beat the market, they absolutely crushed it by 11 full percentage points. So whether it's their tools, their low fees, or their global access, whatever it is, their platform seems to be giving people a real edge. And this isn't some happy accident they're just sitting back and enjoying. This quote from the founder and chairman, Thomas Peters, it's a direct promise right from the very top. He's basically saying, we are not slowing down. Okay, so how are they going to keep that promise? Well, it all boils down to their core identity, a nonstop focus on technology and just pushing out aggressively across the globe. This is really the foundation of their whole success story. And this slide just perfectly lays out that strategy in action. I mean, just look at what they rolled out in 2025 alone. A brand new mobile platform, these AI tools where you can literally ask your portfolio questions in plain English. They're opening up new markets from Brazil to Slovenia. Heck, you can even fund your account with stablecoins now. What they're doing is building this complete high-tech playground for the modern global investor. All right, so you've got this flood of new clients, and you're giving them all these cutting-edge tools. So let's see how that actually paid off in the financials. This is where the rubber really meets the road. The growth is just undeniable. Look at these quarterly numbers side by side. Fourth quarter adjusted net revenues shot up from $1.42 billion in 2024 to a whopping $1.67 billion in 2025. You can see the momentum is just picking up speed. But here's the thing. It's not just about how much money they made. It's about how profitably they made it. Check this out. A jaw-dropping 79% pre-tax margin in Q4 and 77% for the whole year. That just screams efficiency. It shows you how powerful their automated global platform really is.
Okay, so to get a feel for how active their clients are, we look at this metric called DARTs. That's daily average revenue trades. And IBKR's DARTs just soared to 4 million a day. That's up 30% from last year. So it's not just that they have more clients. Those clients, new and old, are way more engaged in trading more than ever.
Okay, but it's not all sunshine and roses. To really get the full picture, we got to look at the potential storm clouds gathering on the horizon for them.
So the single biggest risk? It's funny. It's directly tied to something that helped them out so much: interest rates. See, the high-rate environment was great for their net interest income. That's the money they make on the cash people leave in their accounts. But now, everyone expects rates to start falling. So what happens then?
And hey, the company isn't hiding from this. They're very upfront about the risk. Their own models show that just a tiny quarter-point cut in U.S. interest rates could wipe $77 million off their annual net interest income. That's a pretty significant hit. And there's another potential speed bump, this one involving one of their really cool, innovative new products. They have this prediction market called ForecastX, but it's starting to face some legal and regulatory heat. And that could definitely create some uncertainty for what otherwise looks like a really promising new venture. So, with all that in mind, how is Interactive Brokers setting itself up to navigate these risks and kick off its next big wave of growth? Well, their next move is a really big one. Their next big strategic play is a really ambitious plan to become a U.S. national trust bank. Now, this isn't about them opening up checking accounts or anything like that. No, this is a super calculated move to let them hold assets for mutual funds and ETFs, which could, if it works, unlock a massive new river of revenue for them. And that all brings us to the final and, I think, most important question about their future. Interactive Brokers built this entire empire on being a relentless tech and innovation machine. So, as the markets shift and these new challenges pop up, is that tech-first DNA of theirs going to be powerful enough to just out-innovate the risks and write the next chapter of this incredible story? We'll have to wait and see.